What's going on, guys? JSGC 171. We're in Europa Universalis 4 Part 6 once again. Back with the multiplayer with England. We've got Aaron with Portugal. And this part is extremely interesting because we've got some annexing to do from the vassal with Ulster, which will be completed in this part. We also have war, which I declare and go for myself, which takes a little while. We have the end of the Regency. We have target war with Scotland and with them, dealing with all of that. And we also end up with a surprise, which I will let you know about as we approach it on the video and explain why I did what I did. I wouldn't advise any Europa player do this, and I wouldn't do it, but I only do it through one extreme circumstance. Excuse me. Now, you may be able to see I'm at war with Spain. Here's the part that happened nice and early into the video. I'm at war with Spain, my ally, because my brother game with Portugal. Portugal have had their heir die, and Portugal are now under a personal union with me, where Castile need to siege capital Lisboa to end the war and win the war, which Aragon, I think, are currently doing, which is a vassal under Spain from the Iberian wedding. Now the war's over. I put Aaron under a personal union with Spain rather than me. My reasoning being, I'm not strong enough for war with Spain, and I don't want to weaken Spain myself by going into war with them for an unnecessary war that I do not need. If this was a single-player game, though, and it happened I was leading a personal union with Austria and I was offered the Portugal one, I would have gone on a defensive war and launched some kind of defensive invasion into Lisbon with Portugal. However, with my brother playing as Portugal, I need my brother to be as strong as possible. With him having very little army and a load of debt, he's very weak right now. And I don't want to own his land. I don't want to, further down the line, end up having all of his territory and land, kind of killing the multiplayer and it becoming a single player, if you get where I'm coming from. So I want him to be as strong as possible, and the only way he's going to get as strong as possible is, realistically, I think he stands a better chance of defeating Castile than he does of defeating me. Not arrogant at all, I just don't see or think that it will happen. It'd be a very difficult war, considering he's bordering with Spain and Castile. My opinion is, when the time is right for Aaron, when the time is right for me, he can launch to try and get his lands and territories back once he's built himself up his army, once he's got his money situation sorted out, built up his manpower. I built up my manpower and got an army fully going in navy. We can launch to try and win back that he's no longer under the personal union. That'll come at some point. Keeps him on his toes. Aaron's in recovery mode. He'll be in recovery mode for some time, struggling with all the rebels, but with no uprisings, and he is colonising. He's earning a little bit a month. I think he told me 4 a month. As I said, it'll slowly just chip away at the scores. If he turns down his maintenance and everything, it'll just chip down the money and everything to sort out all of his debts, because he told me he's got 12 to 14 loans to pay back. Not good for him. I don't have a load of money, but we're currently trying to sort out the situation with me. At some point in this video, I make the sin of losing a cog, and my explorer, not conquistador, explorer, I end up losing that at some point too, so that isn't good. But in terms of where my game's going, we've just got full out war for the next 25 minutes for when the time is right. We have, of course, as you may see, the big red now of Ireland is now mine, so the land has now been annexed. So all of Ireland is now mine. Ulster no longer exists, so that's one diplomatic relation sorted with them, which means now I can look to have another vassal, which I will be looking to get with Scotland as soon as I'm out of the Regency and I'm allowed war, to try and get my army tradition up, which is important to keep up to. So whilst we wait for that, we're just into exploring fog. The percentage is quite low down, so we need to head back home. Hopefully don't lose the cog, because that's just poor. We've already seen it. There we go. Picking on Scotland right now. A free province minor. They're weaker out of them and Gaeldon, so I've gone to war with them. We're going to look to siege all of their lands, put them as my vassal, and then we'll have war with Gaeldon afterwards, and we'll take their lands and give that all to the yellow country Scotland, and then we've got ourselves a nice, decent little vassal like we had with Ulster. Well, this time with Scotland, it saves me coring some points, so I'm all for it. War shouldn't last too long, they're in no fit state. We have finally improved with our technology, with diplomacy. The diplomatic points are built up. We're also looking for the ideas to expand our colonial range, which comes in the next technology and idea, which is cool, which means I can then expand and go abroad at last. So I'm looking for Greenland's territories, as you may see me having a look at right now. That's Bermuda, by the way, not looking at it right now, but you'll see me go back to it. But war with Scotland's done. There now, my vassal. So it's kind of easy. Just building up the new army and navy size now that we've managed to get some money from winning wars. That's how I get my money, I win wars. Just trying to look for Bermuda. France still, even by the end of this part, still under the PU with Milan, so I don't know really the direction that that's going in. It's kind of halted my plans with Spain, so as the title will suggest, I'm looking for war with Burgundy instead. Try and get some of their land and Brittany. There's Bermuda. Can we get Cog back? Yep. Expanding upon the Royal Navy. We have a simple war with Gaeldon. Nothing too difficult, this one, with the army already being defeated. I was trying to chase down the ships, but we'll get to them later. Launch a blockade. Men can walk over, siege the land, so we're just waiting upon the siege of just one territory with the fort. So, not too bad. We have one successful war. Looks like we're going to win another war, so that's 2 wars. quick wars in succession. So there we go. Just going to defeat their navy. Get my navy tradition up. I want to siege the lands, make them pay for the war. So there we go. We'll now sell this land over the next 3 or 4 months to Scotland. There we go. You get the idea of what I'm doing. They're my vassal, obviously. So while I'm doing that, they can call that, make it their own. I've obviously got Lothian and Ayrshire. Lothian being Edinburgh. So we have hold of that. So that's not too bad. Gets me a little bit more money having the major stop down places. But of course, because Scotland hold Aberdeenshire, I can't form Britain, I don't think. So that won't be coming for a little while just yet. But we're making awesome progress. I am trying to get a look at Bermuda, but I can't at the moment, so it just keeps coming up as fogged out terror something or another. I've forgotten what the word is. It's poor of me. Poor, I should know. Been playing the game long enough, but can't see it just yet. We're moving the troops down, we're preparing war. I'm going to declare war on Brittany. We've got a near full manpower, ready to go, geared up for war. We've got Austria under personal union, Scotland under personal union, so hopefully we can win the war against Brittany. We've got a war with Burgundy, all their vassals and allies, which is, I think, just Utrecht. Also, it's going to be Scotland, sorry, not Scotland, Holland on their side. Savoy for an ally, and I'm hoping Savoy's got quite a large army. They're doing quite well just off the coast of where Italy and France meet. So I'm hoping to kind of hurt. We hurt Burgundy last time, if you remember, in the war. So some that's quite straightforward this time. Castile not wanting to join due to my diplomatic reputation. You're wondering why I'm saving the game. I really wasn't sure on this war. This was a risk by me. A calculated risk that I was hoping would pay off. So I'm confident we're going to dominate with the navy, obviously. So it's war. And I love war, it's great. Look to see what land we can get. We have had a couple of ideas, or should I say pop-ups that you may see. We've had one previously with Catherine of Aragon, where I had a choice to either send her back to Aragon, I think it was, or put her in an advisor's role, I think it was, or something to a council. End up put her onto that rather than sending her back. And I had another one pop up for Anne Boleyn, where I could send Anne Boleyn either to be an advisory role or executor for what happened with Henry VIII for the adultery. But for what it was worth, I ended up killing her. But keeping Catherine. Sorry, Anne. The moment war not going too great. I'm in land siege, but I'm hoping that with the forts will hold. My forts will hold longer than theirs, to allow me to siege and try and meet up with at least Austria or somebody. Of course, Portugal being weak, no longer my ally, as they're under a personal union with Spain. Spain haven't joined the war, so it's literally just me, Scotland and Austria. But we've got Spain into the war. Aragon. For some reason going down south to fight with the army of Burgundies. Now you're wondering why Spain are in the war. I could call them to arms later on, so obviously the diplomatic relation has improved or something like that. Reputation. I don't understand it, I don't know. Maybe someone would be able to tell me, I don't know. But Austria's come up to Burgundy to siege to try and allow access, which would help me as Burgundy attack me. So we've got our first major battle going on with mine. Luckily I'm on the defensive, so hopefully we can hold. Or not. But we have managed to siege their fort, which keeps me protected, so we can use the manpower to build ourselves up. In the moment, the situation don't look too good though. It's a tricky one, this. It's a tricky little war. Luckily I managed to get everyone involved eventually, so hopefully that might be the turning point to cause some kind of distraction. I don't know. War's coming to pain. We have managed eventually, Spain have managed to grind down Burgundy enough for me to get white peace, so it's just war with Savoy and Brittany, as that rules out Utrecht, Holland, and their vassals of all Belgium and the Dutch region from Burgundy, so that's one major game player done there. So hopefully we can pick on the rest now and be able to get some decent. We have finally managed to get a colony. The colonial range sorted out to head over to Greenland now for the first bit of territory, so I'm just going to sort that one out here. You'll notice an amateur mistake that I do. I'm sending out my boat, not realising that Brittany still got its navy around, and I lose that boat. Yeah. That's really poor of me. Really, really poor. Just on to the sieging, because in my opinion, I think this war, they're not strong enough, Savoy and Brittany alone, to take me and Spain and Aragon and Austria all together. We're making advances, so hopefully we can get Savoy out of the war soon. And then we can just pick on Brittany so I can take their land. We've now managed to limit it to just Brittany now, so we can just pick on them, which is a success. We finally grinded it out. This has been a war. The war's grinded it down, took my manpower, so it's been a costly war, an expensive war. I'll make Brittany pay for the war. I'll take the land. Has it been worth it? Probably not. Not made that too many gains, but we did win, so eventually, you know, we got there. Burgundy are strong, so I might have to treat them like France, but you just got to keep chipping them down, chipping them down, chipping them down. Because that, in my opinion, is about the only place I can make gains at the moment in Europe. Until I can eventually force my way southwards, but I need Spain to have their war with Milan for the personal union, so then I can see what the outcome is there, see how strong France are. Then if they're weakened just any slight bit, I can hit on if I'm at full strength and try and hurt France whilst it has no allies. Try and cut it off its access to the sea. That'll stop the money for France, and then hopefully someone like Burgundy can make gains on them, and then I can just have a full-out war with Burgundy, because Burgundy, in my opinion, are a bigger threat than France right now. But never rule France out, never underestimate them. You'll make a big mistake if you do that. But war's done. I can't take one piece of territory because Spain had occupied it, so Britain is now a one province minor. I'm not too worried about them getting any allies. I'll be able to pick on them once the truce is up for the one province, and we'll take that. I mean, it's just surrounded by me and my vassal. So I'm not sure who's going to want that. But we'll see, I'm not sure. Just trying to sort out the corruption, that's really annoying. Just trying to keep on top of that. Costs quite a bit. And 2 or 3 a month, it adds up. It really does. So I try and turn it down just enough so corruption's not making any gains on the country. It's a bit annoying. But never mind. There's a separate territory just there that we just discovered next to Greenland. That's the only 2 territories in Greenland. We've sent troops over after attacking my colony. So if you click on the army, you'll just see there's 6 little buttons at the bottom. If you click on the one in the top right hand corner of that little section at the bottom, you'll see it says to defeat the uprisings, to defeat the natives there. Click the button, you'll have seen me click it before there. That just kills all them off, then the colony can't be attacked, and I'll be able to move that around. Now, Navy's getting a little bit ridiculous in size, so I'll be splitting that up at some point, sending my Navy over to abroad, because eventually I'll be able to start protecting trade, and as I move south, into the continent, once I've got Greenland, I can then attach a little bit into the USA, then I can be able to move my colonial range down into the Caribbean to be able to get some trade, and hopefully get a couple of the Caribbean islands. That'd probably suit me nicely. Can have 2 or 3 of the Caribbean islands. Probably missing out on the ones south, like Trinidad, Barbados, St. Lucia, etc. But no reason I can't aim for Bahamas, sorry. maybe parts of Cuba, Jamaica, Puerto Rico, them areas. We'll see, I don't know. I really don't know. But all in all, it's been a pretty successful part, this one. We've won all our wars. We've had 3 wars, won them all, managed to make good territorial gain. Notice how Aaron's been involved in absolutely nothing. He's in full recovery. He's managed to take his loans down from 14 to 12. It gives you some time plan of how long it takes. He probably won't be a good player for another 60 to 80 years into the game. Now, that's 2 or 3 kings probably for me. Or queens, obviously. And hopefully we'll have made successful gains into Europe and abroad by the time that comes about. One thing Aaron can do now is will allow him to focus entirely on colonising, and I'm sure he'll be hoping to sort out trade in the Caribbean to be able to pick up some stuff to earn a bit more money so he can send it back home. Obviously, he needs to take his ideas, so he'll be hoping for a successful king, which is another reason why I let Aaron go with Spain rather than me. Because France have got ahead on all their technologies because Milan's got such a good king. My king is okay, but nothing spectacular. Spain's king that's in charge of ruling over Aaron is actually better than mine, so he's earning more points, so he can improve on his technology, improve on his ideas, earn a little bit more money. I'd probably suggest he takes an economic idea at some point to try and earn a bit more money and get a merchant, which is, so speaking of merchants, I unlocked more ideas and I've now got a merchant as well from my administration one, which allowed me to get a colonist. I can't remember what it was called now. But sent the merchant out to Bordeaux. And eventually he'll move from Bordeaux, he'll go to the Caribbean once I've managed to establish some kind of trade in the Caribbean to send back home, because there's quite a bit of trade there. So it's all about knowing where there's decent trade. But we're just on the straight now to 1520. That's 20 successful years we've managed to have here on the game. Gone from regent to council, not being able to have war. We've managed to annex Ireland. We've managed to get a vassal with Scotland and all of Scotland, which will eventually become mine. Got ideas towards Provence to annex them next, once the 10-year thing's up, which may be already there, I'm not sure. Managed to have war with Scotland, defeated them, both Gaeldon and then we've got all of Greenland now, it's all gone red. We're abroad, we're now building up our colonial lives, our colonial territory. We've also made gains on Brittany, took their land, defeated Burgundy, and that takes us to the next part, which we'll see what will happen in the next few years. Don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe. Tune in for part 7. It's been JSGC 171. Peace. Ciao for now.